All right, let's talk about Sigmund Freud. Now, you might have heard his name thrown around in psychology classes, or maybe you've seen him referenced in pop culture, sitting on a chair, scribbling furiously as someone lies on a couch. But who was Freud, really, and why does he matter so much in the story of how we understand the mind? Freud was born way back in 1856 in what's now the Czech Republic. He was clever, even as a child, a proper bookworm. He went on to become a doctor, specializing in neurology, but here's where it gets interesting. Freud wasn't satisfied just poking around brains. He wanted to know what was going on inside people's heads, their thoughts, their dreams, the stuff they were too embarrassed to say out loud. So he started listening, really listening. He'd ask patients about their dreams, their childhood memories, even their wildest fears. Freud reckoned that underneath all our polite behavior, there's a boiling pot of feelings and desires, the unconscious mind. He basically mapped out this inner world, like a mental explorer. One of Freud's big ideas was that we're all driven by hidden forces, things like sex, aggression, and childhood experiences. He came up with the concept of the ID, ego, and superego to explain how these forces clash and shape our personalities. The ID wants instant pleasure, the superego demands we behave, and the ego tries to keep the peace. It's a bit like having a wild child, a strict parent, and a referee all living inside your head. He also introduced the idea of defense mechanisms, the sneaky ways our minds protect us from stuff we'd rather not face. Ever caught yourself making excuses, forgetting awkward moments, or blaming someone else for your problems? That's Freud's handiwork in action. Now, let's be honest, some of Freud's theories are, well, controversial. The whole Oedipus complex thing, for example, has made a lot of people raise their eyebrows. But whether you agree with him or not, Freud changed the way we think about ourselves. He made it okay to talk about dreams, fears, even taboo subjects, and he inspired generations of psychologists to dig deeper into the mysteries of the mind. So, next time you wonder why you do something odd, or you have a weird dream, remember? Freud was the guy bold enough to ask, but why? Maybe that's why, more than 100 years later, we're still talking about him. That's Freud, the man who mapped the mind.